It is exactly 10 p.m. in the studios of UBC TV. Hello there and welcome to our second and final edition of News Tonight this Tuesday, the 6th day of August 2024. We are coming to you live online and on air from Broadcast House here on Nile Avenue. On sign language, it is Senyomo Yusuf and I am Rukidi Edward Kijanangoma. Now, the Japanese government, under its agency, the Japanese International Cooperation Agency, JICA, will start constructing the Kampala Flyover Road project and the Karuma Bridge. The Japanese ambassador to Uganda, Sasayama Takuya, made this revelation in a meeting with the Prime Minister of Uganda, Right Honorable Robina Nabanja. We have more in this story.
Phase 1 of the Kampala Flyover Road project, funded by the Japanese International Cooperation Agency, JICA, is 98% complete. Now, during a meeting with the Prime Minister of Uganda, Robina Nabanja, the Japanese ambassador to Uganda, Sasayama Takuya, revealed that his government will soon embark on Phase 2 of the Kampala Flyover Road project and the construction of Karuma Bridge.
Talked about the Kampala Flyover, which has since stalled. They want to look for a way for making sure that that project takes shape. We have the Karuma Bridge. The other day, members of Parliament from Northern Uganda were inquiring about the Karuma Bridge.
And we are planning to do the Phase 2. In our way is that we plan very carefully. We estimate where the things come from. So we are in the phase in that phase, and not only for the flyover Phase 2, but also of course the Karuma Bridge. It's already in the pipeline, and we want to do it as soon as possible.
Nabanja said the Kampala Flyover Road project is expected to address the long-standing issue of traffic congestion in the city. She commended the Japanese International Cooperation Agency, JICA, for their unwavering support and partnership to the government of Uganda.
And this in turn will spur economic growth and development across the country. So, Your Excellency, I am glad that our two countries have started the process of technical transfer, especially in agriculture sector, dealing with Professor Kim, the one we had the other time, from SC Planter, to help our people improve production, productivity, and profitability amidst the changing weather conditions.
The meeting was also attended by the Executive Director of the Uganda National Roads Authority, Allen Kajina. Kajina says $90 million is set to kickstart Phase 2 of the Kampala Flyover Road project.
On the Kampala Flyover, Phase 1, 95% complete, actually 98% complete, so it is basically done. The Minister of Finance did write to JICA asking for us to proceed to Phase 2 because we have some money still on the loan, about $90 million, for which we could actually start on Phase 2. And we are asking that Japan kindly allow us to proceed to the procurement of Phase 2 so that we don't have a gap between Phase 1 and Phase 2.
Kajina further revealed that the Japanese will soon undertake the construction of a new bridge at Karuma.
For the new bridge will be at a higher elevation than the current one, so we should not experience the same challenges. Right now, the Karuma Bridge is under some emergency repairs, but we look forward to the support, and we should soon have a new bridge, much more robust. We'll even get rid of the corners that are on that bridge which have caused accidents. It will not be a straight route.
I'm very happy if they are talking about the Karuma Bridge, and if it comes to look like that of Ginger, it will be another advantage to us.
Japan International Cooperation Agency, JICA, funded the construction of Ginger Bridge, which is now a source of attraction in Ginger City.
Minister for ICT and National Guidance, Dr. Chris Varyomunsi, has cautioned media houses operating outside the stipulated broadcasting guidelines set by government, saying government will revoke their licenses. Dr. Varyomunsi was reinstating a Central Broadcasting Services operational license, which was revoked 14 years ago at Uganda Communications Commission in Bugolobi.
On 10th September 2009, Central Broadcasting Services, commonly known as CBS, had its operational license revoked by government on grounds of breaching minimum operating standards. Government has reinstated the license. While handing over this license, the Minister for ICT and National Guidance, Dr. Chris Varyomunsi, advised media houses to execute their work within the minimum broadcasting standards set by government.
For the media houses to always broadcast, do your work, but within the limitations of what the policy, the guidelines, the law requires you to do. It's the same issue. What happened to CBS then is like related to what happened to Facebook. Now, when you come to operate here, whether you are local or international, you must observe the laws of the land.
Varyomunsi implored the Uganda Communications Commission to remain firm in ensuring that broadcast houses operate under government limitations.
And they would want to request UCC to be very firm in your work of regulation. Do not say, because we have a huge listenership, because the radio is established by a cultural institution, then for us we have the freedom to do whatever we want. We shall regulate you. We do this function of regulation not to kill your business, not to stifle your rights and freedoms, but to bring order and sanity in society.
The Executive Director UCC, George William Nyombi Tembo, said the Commission is organizing a workshop where all media houses will be reminded of their licensing obligations.
Elections are very, very exceptional days. So in November, Mr. Minister, we shall be inviting you, where we are calling all editors of radios to reread to them, not the right act, but to remind them of their licensing obligations. Because really we don't want anything that should take us back to issues of revoking a license. There is no regulator, I should put this one very, very clearly, Mr. Minister. There's no regulator that enjoys to revoke a license.
The board members of CBS pledged to work under guidelines of UCC and the government.
We promise and commit to continue serving Ugandans professionally and diligently. This is a job at which we've gained quite a lot of experience. We are very committed, and we are also very much aware of our various mandates to the kingdom and to the Ugandans at large.
It's good you have made a commitment. You are thinking the same as ours, that what happened is regrettable, and working together, we should never allow that situation to occur again.
Mary Namkose, UBC News.
Now, government wants an additional 18.8 billion shillings if all eligible medical interns are to be deployed to health facilities. Minister of State for Health, General Duties, Nifa Kawoya, entrusted Parliament to take notice of the available 2,706 medical interns who need to be paid 15.6 million shillings each per annum. Kawoya says even the available 743 senior health officers cannot manage to supervise the eligible medical interns.
The Parliament of Zimbabwe.
It is not the first time the 11th Parliament disagrees with the government position on the embattled medical interns.
If the government cannot raise enough money for all these students, which is the reason for the delay of their deployment, can't the ministry open it also freely for those who can sponsor themselves?
But the same House, which appropriates funds to various sectors, found it prudent to avail 35.6 billion in the current financial year 2024-2025 to cater for medical interns and the senior health officers.
Furthermore, this year we have received communication from the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development to fit within the available resources and with no anticipated supplementary.
As of August 2024, 2,706 medical interns are eligible for deployment. Due to the prevailing challenges, government resorted to deploy a random selection mode considering the surgeons and pharmacists only.
It's very important that between the schedule of enrollment to intensive period, the government should have planned for these children.
Why are we doing these things? Today we wake up and tell the public that we want people to study sciences. And at the end of it all, we don't know how to help the scientists.
Minister of State for Health, General Duties Anifa Kawoya, informed Parliament that each medical intern is paid 15,600,000 per annum, including tax arrears. The available 743 senior health officers need about 11.6 billion annual payments to supervise the interns.
Considering the expenditure of 15,600,000 per intern per annum, this money can only deploy 1,500.
As government registers a deficit of about 18.8 billion to solve the question of medical interns, Minister Anifa Kawoya has asked for time for the ministry to study the concerns raised by the MPs before the matter is resolved.
Let us look for the 18 billion. Yes, we should look for it. We can get the 18 billion, then we plan better.
That of the money we need, is it only 18 billion or we need something beyond so that we can have more specialists? Okay? And
on the way forward, we go back for proper gain planning, because this involves Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Education, where to come with the policy and regulation, and Ministry of Health.
Thank you.
Meanwhile, government has introduced the National Teachers Bill 2024 to offer a transformative change in the teaching profession. The bill will establish the National Teacher Council to oversee and regulate teachers' standards and ethics.
The long title of this bill.
Before the introduction of the bill for first reading, the Kalungu West MP Joseph Sewungu notified the House of the challenges which the teaching profession is facing after government dissolved the primary teachers training institutions. Sewungu claims that some tutors are still benefiting from the taxpayers' money.
And here we are, colleges we are closed, teachers are running out of teaching. From COVID, the number of teachers have gone out. Validation reports are showing us that in many districts don't have teachers, but nothing is going on. Could we know what exactly is happening? Are you killing education for real?
This bill comes at a time when media reports have indicated a big concern by teachers applying for early retirement. Minister of State for Higher Education John Chrysostom Muyingo says the bill caters for all the concerns.
Right now, it covers management of the entire profession, and which management also entails teachers. So I'm just asking you to be patient. By the end of this exercise...
The Tuesday Parliament session was chaired by the Deputy Speaker Thomas Tayebwa. Daniel Mugoya, Gloria Gutabinji, UBC News.
Members of the Shadow Cabinet in Parliament have resolved not to participate in planned regional parliamentary sittings because the expenditure involved is difficult to explain to the public. The leader of opposition in Parliament, Joel Senyonyi, told the media at Parliament that the opposition in Parliament has not been involved and the processes have not been followed. Take a watch.
Parliament will start regional sittings around end of August, and the first is to take place in Gulu, northern Uganda. Mbarara in western Uganda will follow. Mbale in eastern will be next. The opposition members of Parliament say they have not been involved in the planning of the sittings. The leader of opposition, Joel Senyonyi, says the Parliamentary Commission and Business Committee too have not been involved. He claims that sources told him that 5 billion Ugandan shillings will be spent on each sitting and transporting MPs and Parliament staff and paying their per diem.
If you were to ask the ordinary person in Gulu that this 5 billion shillings, which is going to bring MPs and staff what would you want it to do? Maybe they will be more interested in medicine in Gulu Regional Referral Hospital. They might be more interested in infrastructure being worked on. The same situation for Mbarara, for Mbale, and so on and so forth, as opposed to spending all of this money to transport everybody.
There is no additional cost that is going to be incurred because of the sitting in northern Uganda. What is being done is within what Parliament had planned for in the financial year.
Senyonyi says although the sittings will be in the people, they will not have chance to participate since they are required to sit in the gallery. He advises the leadership of Parliament to empower committees.
And these committees go out and work on behalf of Parliament. Why don't we empower committees? Many times committees complain they are not able to go out to the field, because that should be the work of committees, that now go to this area, interact with the people, establish the issues and concerns, bring a report to Parliament. Here we discuss it all together. Why don't we empower committees? And that's what I have always been telling the leadership of Parliament.
Members of the shadow cabinet say they will not be part of the arrangement, which does not make logical and economic sense.
So as shadow cabinet, we have elected that it is problematic for we in the opposition to be part of such an arrangement, because number one, we have not been brought on board. We are kept in the dark. Things are being done very quietly. We do not know. And then number two, this expenditure is difficult for us to explain to the public, to even the people we represent, to tell them.
For members to say, because of glue, they are going to boycott allowances. That is not the way to go as leaders. I would personally request them to always go slow when talking about matters of their own emoluments and remuneration in Parliament.
Senyonyi says he has written to the Speaker of Parliament several times about commission meetings where he has not participated since the year started.
Sat in a meeting that made this decision, I would say, look, instead of spending 5 billion shillings per sitting, let's meet here. And then we push for the allocation of money for some of the concerns in these regions. That would have been my view. But I'm not invited for these meetings. And as I have since discovered, I am not the only one not invited to these meetings. The other day we had an engagement and the Prime Minister was also concerned.
The opposition say the 11th Parliament is being run as a small institution in an informal way, which they will not sit and watch. I'm Nafka Farida and Gloria Ugwitabinji at Parliament.
The American government has committed to support projects that transform refugee communities and hosting districts. The U.S. Ambassador to Uganda, William Pope, reiterates empowering refugees to minimize over-dependence.
Over the past 7 years, the U.S. government, through U.S. aid, embarked on financing capacity-building programs in Ramwanja refugee settlement in Kamwenge district, dubbed Graduating to Resilience.
The idea was that out of these 13,000 plus individuals, 75% of them will be able to graduate. But as we have had today, we did not only hit that target, but we also surpassed it. We had more than 80% of these individuals being able to become resilient.
The project was implemented by AFC, Trickle Up, and the American Institute for Research, focusing on rehabilitating people who were traumatized by war and forced to flee their homes. The project designed manuals to include refugees into a financial cycle.
And coaching basically helps to build this hope, the resilience, the self-efficacy, the belief that you can actually do something. And since it's done every week by an individual, imagine you are not meeting anyone, nobody's coming to your home for a visit, and here is somebody now who is visiting you and talking to you every day, saying they care about you, asking you to do a better plan. So that aspect helps you with your mindset.
They come here for different reasons. And when they do come here, we have limited resources. So now this program was looking at how do we use these limited resources to ensure that these people who have come here to be supported can be able to be supported in a meaningful way.
The American government commends the government of Uganda for their open-door policy for refugees and commits more support towards refugees' capacity building.
And in very specific terms, over 96% of children, for example, that are participated in households or were part of the households that participated in these programs now have enough to eat. That in and of itself is an enormous accomplishment. And we are very proud to support these activities, that they have real achievements, that they have real results, and that they benefit the maximum amount of people.
The project has at least benefited 13,680 refugees and host community households towards the navigation paths to stability and overcoming challenges of traumatization. Komagum Rogers and Abdul Nasir Lubwama for UBC.
CHAGO University has instituted a special committee to review the fees structures upon realizing hardships in the management of the institute with the current tuition paid by students. The Vice-Chancellor of CHAGO University, Professor Eli Katunguka, says he is not moved by the growing appetite for strike based on the proposal of tuition hike.
CHAGO University administration has raised a red flag on the funding gap, depriving the university of meeting desired international standards. The University Council has resolved to institute a committee to review the fee structure of the university to bridge some funding gaps.
We are required to have about 63 professors, full professors. But as we talk now, CHAGO University has five. But like this. And this has happened over the last 10 years. Among the associate professors, who are supposed to be 113, there are only 23. And this one has also happened over the last 10 years. Among the senior lecturers, who are supposed to be 206, there are only 62. Among the lecturers, who are supposed to be 312, there are 176.
The existing fee structure of CHAGO University was designed in 2003 and can hardly fit in the current economic environment and the dynamic education demands.
And this is not part of the wage that is allocated by government. It's part of the money that is given to the university to run its function. Meaning, when you take off this money, the other functions suffer. And we are going to have discussions very soon about how to review the fees.
The universities were perceived to be charging the least fees dues despite having more than 100 education disciplines. Science courses at diploma level, the university charge between 420,000 shillings and 472,000, while at degree program it ranges between 840,000 shillings and 1,080,000 shillings. Engineering courses at diploma it ranges between 600,000 and 850,000 shillings. And at degree level, the fees range between 1,050,000 shillings and 1,470,000 shillings. The Diploma of Arts and Industrial Design, the university charge 400,000 shillings, and at degree level, fees stand between 900,000 and 1,050,000 shillings per semester. The Diploma for Special Needs and Rehabilitation, the university charge 350,000 shillings per semester. While at the degree level, the charge is between 630,000 and 910,000 shillings. The education program at diploma level at CHAGO University, the charge range between 490,000 shillings and 800,000 shillings. While at bachelor's, fees stands between 420,000 shillings and 77,000 shillings per semester. With immediate effect, this academic year, the university will increase fees for the School of Management and Entrepreneurship and the School of Computing and Information Science. The move has raised voices of strikes among university students.
Other matters like teaching materials, science programs are very expensive, so we must buy teaching materials. We must buy computers. We must buy chairs where these students sit. So all those other functions that they must be paid for from the non-wage. And when that money goes, then it means the general functions of the non-wage will reduce.
Meanwhile, CHAGO University has responded to the National Council for Higher Education on the operating illegal education centers in Bushenyi and Soroti. The Vice-Chancellor, Professor El Katungukas, has disregarded the council accusation that the institutions are established by law.
Uganda, Chiburi here, because these centers were inherited from ITEC. These existed in 1999, 1995. And when Chambogo University was established, it was given the liabilities and the assets of ITEC, of UPK, and UNIS. So we inherited these centers from that time, and they have been used to upgrade the skills of the teachers.
On the disciplinary note, CHAGO University Council resolved to dismiss the embattled Dr. Aaron Lawrence on grounds of omissions that damaged the university name.
Because he disappeared. He did not show up for duty, despite being invited to come. And our human resources manual is clear. If you are away from duty for more than 21 days, you will be construed to have absconded from duty, and that is a gross misconduct. But because we went through the process and arrived at the conclusion, the university has finally dismissed this gentleman.
Dr. Aaron Lawrence is on remand, battling with a case of aggravated defilement. Aaron is accused of defiling a student with special needs. Abdul Nasir Lubwama and Rogers Komagum for UBC.
State Minister for Lands, Dr. Sam Mayanja, Wakiso RDC, Justin Babazi, Senior Presidential Advisor on General Duties, Fiona Balungi, and the Entebbe Police Commander have arrested 8 people for allegedly seizing 7 acres of land located at Garuga. The arrests follow an appeal from Professor Waswa Kajubi, who sought the minister's help against the alleged landowners who had even cleared his 30-year-old forest.
The disputed land is the 8-acre Bulegambiro land in Katabi, which Professor Kajubi also claims to own. However, Mrs. Nanteg Susan asserts she owns a Chivanja.
Before the reading of the order? No.
Bulegambiro Village L1 Chairman Salongo Gembetone explains the disputed land, while Seremba Fred, Chairman of LC2, is concerned over abuse of office.
Nga neyo mugenzi busulwa yalimu nga basasula omusika wamu n'omukyala namusi gida nazonna nafuna omukisa n'enzirabako.
Nakolera owa William ssente za Kajubi okuva 93 nga ndabiriranga mwana naye neewunyiza ani asaawa emiti gyange gye nasimba.
Sebo tubadde tusaba otuyambe tuleme kutemagana nga
Minister Mayanja then toured the disputed land. Professor Wasaka Jubi explained to the minister that Nantege Susan had never been owner of his land and refuted her claim that her late father Tom Busulwa gave her the land in 1998, stating that her father died in 1995.
Land was bought in 1995. Over the years, all the Chibanja holders were paid. That includes Mr. Tom Busulwa. He instructed how to respect court stays. Okay, that's a very serious thing.
Nantekistan claims her father bought the Chimanja in 1980, but noted Professor Waswa had been complaining about it. The presidential advisor, Fiona Balungi, asked SPC Tunamujisha Stephen, the entire police commander, to explain why the police did not follow the court order.
Nakajanga ndi fresh nakutano. So abantu bano abakola ensobi bonna bakoze omukisa ogwo nti nali nakajja mu office ensonga sizitegeera.
The minister was surprised. Nantege Susan was pretending to own the Chimanja, suspecting that some people were using her.
Land grabbers bakozesa n'etunga gwe n'amugamba nti wano jjajja waliwo jjajja wange tewasasula akati nkomyewo ng'otandika kubakuba kutematema ng'osawo kantu ng'onyaga ngamba nti eno ennyumba maka agamaze emyaka 12 ate taweebwa constitution.
Consequently, the minister ordered police to arrest Nantege Susan and 7 others for lying to court.
Kirabye nti Nantege, you are a land grabber, oli muntu wa ttaka. Ndagira security ekukwate gwe n'abo abakolaganye naawe mu kugezaako okubba ettaka.
The land issue has caused panic among residents, leading to attacks by people armed with pangas. Crispus Arinitwe, Jamil Sekaja, UBC News.
Land issues still existing in the country. Now, the Office of the President has enrolled all resident district commissioners, RDCs, their deputies, assistants and district internal security officers, DISOs, for a 2-day capacity building in Gulu City. The initiative is to enhance the capacity of the RDCs to effectively monitor government programs as well as deliver on their mandates.
Officials from the Office of the President have pitched camp in Gulu City to empower RDCs and DISOs from across districts in Acholi sub-region to effectively deliver on their mandate. The 3-day capacity building is aimed at improving the quality of monitoring of government programs and to ensure effective service delivery to the citizens.
They are doing very well now. If you listen to the country, the challenge on land language, etc., you'll see that the office of the RDCs is very vibrant. And one of the things that government is doing is to digitize. As we digitize, we are able to improve the quality of the information.
The RDCs also have a big role to play in fighting corruption in their districts. Recently, there has been a number of complaints on corruption tendencies on the district service commissions who demand money from applicants.
So for us, we have a very big role to play as RDCs.
The RDCs also raise challenges associated with the monitoring of hybrid projects, access to information, and the fight against corruption.
You know, the hybrid project by name, and they are only sent to the district at the time of the launch. And therefore, normally, there is kind of a slow responses that normally come from some of these contractors. But again, as government, you know, RDCs have all the powers in their hands to always really put all these contractors to task so that good things are done.
But in Pader, when you are trying to streamline things, these corrupt elements, you hear people saying, we want to transfer the RDC. I am doing what my father in Nakasero have said me to do.
Among the facilitators included the Deputy Director, Iso Emi Katabazi, who presented elaborately on the corruption as a source of insecurity. He warned the security personnel against abating corruption in their districts.
When it comes to P7, 700 seats, 1.3 costs, and the government has been paying for them up to, then you hear the dropout rate is high. Where did they go? And you are not a DC there, and you are the DISO. Because in the next 20 years, those kids who are afraid to go to primary school will be made with feelings. Also who wants to sleep in a road the way you people do.
The Secretariat also wants RDCs to intervene on the primary schools who continue to demand for money from the vulnerable parents in UPE schools.
To participate in these meetings, to give parents guidance. Here, can you imagine in the city, here, Gulu City, there are children school age going to go to school.
They have done this. It brought hell and heaven. When you talk, people are wow, 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 wow. So for me, this is good for me. It energizes me, and people of Gulu City, watch out.
This kind of retreat help us to remain steadfast.
Ediolwa, UBC News.
Thanks, Ola, for that story there. Now, Rwenzori East Police are investigating a fatal accident in Nachiumbu Sub-County, Kasese District, where 4 men died on August the 5th, 2024, when their motorcycle collided with a Fuso truck carrying cassava flour. The truck, registration number UAX 843M, loaded with cassava flour, was en route from Mushenene to Munkunyu Sub-County, as we hear in this story.
Unfortunately, we lost 4 lives, and these 4 lives, the rider and the pedestrian and those who were on the motorcycle. It was so unfortunate. When we got the information, we rushed to the scene. Unfortunately, we couldn't save life, though we tried to take one to hospital. Unfortunately, he also succumbed to death this morning.
It is good that the district and central government came in. And when the district takes over a certain road, it widens it because it has enough funds. But our resource envelope as a sub-county was not enough. That's why we opted for that smaller bridge.
MTN tusako Hajaruna Mbiru live in concert Friday nga mwenda August. Hajaruna Mbiru huyo kusenda hotel Rockta nunga mwenda August. Monshoja atumia Hajaruna Mbiru live in concert VIP ya mtwalo 15 tokawa jigula kumomo ya mtwalo 10 matemeze ya milioni 3 niga kamunyenye emu mkaga 5 kamunyenye 20 kadara oba downloading ya momo app ogule ticket ku sente ntono nga 10 August tolini hotel mukono ticket ya shinzo mtwalo gumu bo jigulango kosa momo jigulango 15 VIP mtwalo 3 nga 10 August Maria Frema Saka shinze mtwalo 2 bo jigulango kosa momo ya mtwalo gumu VIP mtwalo 5 ate momo mtwalo 3 n'ekitundu bitegekedwa keti events olone biwagirwa
MTN. Together, we're unstoppable.
Uganda fire! Endiba fire! Our border fire!
Uganda! Thank you for showing your fire! Has Nambole Stadium opened its doors once again?
Fire!
While you were moving in, you were the 12th player when Uganda Cranes needed you the most.
Fire! Let the banner!
Through our famous wins and our unlucky losses, you stood firm, supporting even louder.
Fire, fire.
Now, as Uganda Cranes take on South Africa and Congo this September, South Sudan in October, and play our second legs against South Africa and Congo in November, bring even more fire! Because with your support, Uganda Cranes is unstoppable! Uganda fire! Proudly brought to you by MTN, the #1 supporter of Uganda Cranes. Together, we are unstoppable.
It's true what people say, that when I wash and you wash your hands with soap, we'll have less infections as Ugandans. After all, it's hands that handle money. It's hands that feed us. Hands that prepare soil for farming. Hands that we use to learn, and hands things that we use for fun.
When I wash and you wash, it means clean hands for all. So, wash your hands with soap and clean water regularly to keep away infections and disease-causing germs. This message is from the National Hand Washing Secretariat with support from UNICEF.
Welcome back from that break. Now let's have a look at business news. The Ministry of Trade, Industry and Cooperatives wants the milling industry to adopt roller mills over hammer mills. Now, hammer mills' high-speed impact leads to wear and tear, compromising flour quality. Now, this call follows the release of the 2023 Milling Assessment Report, a joint effort by the Trade Ministry, Health Ministry and World Food Programme, covering 44 districts across the 5 sub-regions. The report reveals that most Ugandan milling machines are hammer mills rather than roller mills.
Hammer mills dominate the milling industry, making up 88% of all milling equipment, while roller mills account for only 9%. Only 1% of facilities have both types of mills, and rudimentary methods like grinding stones constitute 2%. The Principal of Micro, Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises Office at the Ministry of Trade, Ketrana Kayenga, advocates for a transition to roller mills to improve flour quality.
And so far, we are seeing that majority of the maize mills are actually using hammer mills. And we all know the challenges with hammer mills. First and foremost, these hammer mills are fabricated locally. And the challenge with fabrication locally is the use of non-food grade food material. And the non-food grade material exposes, because of wear and tear of the machines, it exposes our populace to contaminated food, to food with particles. Probably some of them are even heavy metals, some of them are iron filings. So the results come to inform policy that what are those strategies that we can explore to scale up the usage of roller mills. We all know that roller mills are the most most advised in the food industry, especially in the milling facilities. And again, these roller mills are food grade material. By food grade material, I mean it is internationally acceptable standard within the food industry.
There are strong appeals for government subsidies on fortificants to make them affordable for small-scale millers.
One of the areas we are looking into strengthening the quality of diets consumed at home is fortification. So we want to go beyond words or just doing trainings for millers or stakeholders that are involved in fortification. For instance, working closely with government to ensure that the fortificants that are required for fortification are available on market at a cheaper price, and even the small-scale millers can be able to access this. And this is something that can be done through policy engagements with government. And then also working with suppliers or companies that are involved in fortification work to avail some of the fortification equipment, for instance, the dosifiers, having them readily available on market, and then even the startup companies are able to access these, and they are able to fortify products even if their tonnage, the production capacity is low.
Unlike the 2017 survey, which was focusing on maize, the current survey examines milling facilities across grains, cereals and tubers, including maize, rice, sorghum, millet, wheat and cassava.
And when you look at food fortification, this is the addition of micronutrients into foods that are commonly consumed.
and that are centrally processed. So together with the Ministry of Trade, UNBS, UBOS, we identify those foods which are centrally processed and which are consumed by the majority of the population, and we improve their nutrition status through the addition of micronutrients.
Crispus, Arinitwe, UBC News.
We'll take yet another short break and return with the latest in sports. Sports news now, and we begin with the Paris Olympics, where Uganda's chances of winning a medal in the 5,000 meters seem to have derailed following the withdrawal of Joshua Cheptegei and Jacob Kiplimo. But that aside, the mood in camp is still electric upon several successes. We have more in this story.
It has become official that Uganda will miss the services of Joshua Cheptegei and Jacob Kiplimo in the Paris 2024 Olympics 5,000 meters that start on Wednesday at the Stade de France.
The race that brought in that gold medal, which of course we all watched, was a very rigorous race, and it drained them so much. They needed more time to recover in order again to run well in 5,000 meters.
In their absence, Uganda will be represented by Oscar Chelimo, who is a high-profile runner and world bronze medalist in 2022.
So I'm very happy to be the part of the Ugandan athletes to be competing in 5,000 meters. So I'm well prepared. And I'm going also to do the best in the semi-finals, because what determines now is to qualify, and then after you'll now see how to plan it in the final. So,
but before Chelimo embarks on solo representation, Uganda has had a chance to add another medal when Peruth Chemtai goes in the 3,000 meters steeplechase final. Steeplechase will yet again be on the menu on Wednesday as soft-spoken Leonard Chemtai contests the men's final.
And I'm ready also to do something to make Uganda proud.
Tomorrow also is the return of 200-meter sensation Tarsis Orogot for semi-final heat 2.
I'm glad I was able to win my heat, and now it's to focus on the semi-final and make sure I'm ready and try to get a lane in the final.
For a place in a historic final, Orogot will face 8 other men, including Kenneth Bednarek and Brian Levo, for the 2 direct places. Meanwhile, Uganda's final batch of athletes for the Olympics is on the way to France. These include the 10,000 meters girls and the marathon teams headlined by Commonwealth and world champion Victor Kiplangat.
Now, 4 of the best sports personalities from last month have been decorated during the Real Sports Monthly Awards at Lazio Restaurant in Kololo.
Around this very time every month, the Fortbet Real Star Monthly Sports Award is the toss of town. Hosted at Lazio Restaurant in Kololo, the awards have yet again rewarded the best athletes from last month.
We went with 4 disciplines, that is rugby. We went with Aaron Afoiroth after scoring 6 tries for Uganda to win the 7s and also kicking 9. So there was nobody to compare him with. And also para badminton, we had this lady called Inazwa Sarah, who's the only person to collect for Uganda a silver medal in the recently concluded Uganda International Badminton in Lugogo. Also, we went to football. This time around, we looked into Masaza Sawasaja Kabaka, and we went into Singo Saza. There's that boy called Joseph Sewali. He did many things that month. He scored against CHAGO, that's my team, and also a brace against Which team was that? Gomba. You know Gomba, those are one of the dominant forces in Massaza, Uganda, but the way this guy tormented them, there's no way you could escape without awarding him.
The lucky recipients of money and plaques were badminton player Sara Naziwa, who won silver at the Uganda International Badminton Tournament.
I feel so happy, and some of my people with disability are seeing me as an inspiration. Like there are those that I want to join sports because where am I today? So I feel so happy. Like I wanted to be, and I wanted to inspire, and I'm doing it right now.
Footballer Joseph Sewali for exploits with Singo County in the Massaza Uganda football tournament bettered others, while Aaron Ofoyoroth took the rugby gong.
It's really very nice to win, of course. Me, that last try I made, I really felt very good. I really said, yes, I'm now winning the Africa Cup the 4th time. It's really an honor, and it's really nice to win cups each and every year and every day.
Boxer Sulaiman Segawa for winning the WBC USA featherweight crown was unstoppable and a deserved winner. The monthly awards that have been a mainstay since 2018 are achieved in partnership with Fortbet and Jude Color Solutions.
Colorful moment there. Now let's have a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow with Jasper Ainebiona at the Weather Center in Entebbe.
Once again, we bring you up our daily weather reports from the Uganda National Meteorological Authority. I'm Jasper Ainebiona. In the morning, most parts of the country had sunny intervals together with a mixture of partly cloudy conditions, apart from the northern sector that was very active with the light rains. And for the satellite captured, we have a ridge over South Africa that has pushed the rain belt further north of our country, and that's the reason the northern sector is receiving light rains. And for tomorrow's weather forecast, we are anticipating sunny intervals across central region. As we continue to the western parts of the country, we are anticipating sunny intervals across, apart from Masindi, where light rains will be expected. As we continue to the eastern stretch, we are anticipating to the eastern parts of the country, we are anticipating sunny intervals apart from Botaleja, where light rains will be expected, and also in Kumi, light rains will be expected. For the northern parts of the country, in the morning, we are anticipating light rains that are likely to prevail, apart from a patch where sunny intervals will be expected. As we continue in the afternoon, we are anticipating Wakiso district to have light rains, and temperatures will be around 28 degrees Celsius. As we continue to Luwelo, sunny intervals will be expected, and temperatures will be around 29 degrees Celsius. Western parts of the country, in the afternoon, we are anticipating Midwestern to have light rains, and temperatures will be around 30 degrees Celsius, while around Mbara, sunny intervals will be expected, and temperatures will be around 25 degrees Celsius. For the eastern parts of the country, in the afternoon, we are anticipating light rains, apart from Busia, where temperatures will be around 29 degrees Celsius with sunny intervals. As we continue to the northern parts of the country, we are anticipating most regions to have light rains, and temperatures will be around 28 degrees Celsius to 29 degrees Celsius. For those that are likely to travel across the globe, we are anticipating Kigali to have partly cloudy conditions, and temperatures will be around 30 degrees Celsius, while in Malaysia, we are anticipating light rains, and temperatures will be around 34 degrees Celsius, while for Maputo, we are anticipating sunny intervals, and temperatures will be around 27 degrees Celsius, and for Amsterdam, we are anticipating light rains, and temperatures will be around 23 degrees Celsius. That's all from the Uganda National Meteorological Authority. For more information, you can visit our website. Good evening.
Thanks, Jasper, for warning us there. And at 6 minutes to 11, we finally come to the end of the second and final edition of News Tonight here on UBC TV this Tuesday, the 6th day of August 2024. Thank you so much for having kept us company. On sign language, it has been Senyumo Yusuf, and I am Rukidi Edward Kijanongoma, wishing you a blessed night.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Uganda's 2024 population census confirmed the youthful demographic, with 48.47% under 14 years and 21.16% aged 15 to 24, making up 22.7% of the population. This week on Behind the Headlines, we explore the role of Uganda's youth in shaping the nation's future. The discussion will focus on their impact through entrepreneurship, activism, and innovation while addressing the challenges they face. Tune in on Wednesday at 10 p.m. on UBC for an inspiring discussion on how the youth can contribute to the vision of Uganda through their participation.
All on your public broadcaster, UBC, inspiring Uganda. This week on UBC.
We started proper school here in Kampala. And so I went to East Kololo Primary School for P1. And then after in P2, I was moved to Nakasero Primary School. Nakasero Primary now, yes, of then. Wow. And then it had just changed the name. Originally it was the European School of Kampala. I do remember the ferry rides from Nebi. There was no Karuma Bridge.
There was no Karuma Bridge.
No, I think we used to cross by ferry. Yeah, that's what I remember, being on the ferry and seeing the water. And the ferry was like a double decker. There was an upper deck and a lower deck. And I thought, as a kid, the ones on the lower deck were swimming. So I kept on telling my parents, I want to go down and swim. I want to go and swim. They said, no, those are just down on the other level. No, they're in the water. I want to swim. And then I remember even in school, we had milk. The government gave out milk to all the children.
For free?
For free. At break time.
So break time you are taking
everybody had a
milk.
packet of milk, yes. We all packed our snacks, of course, but we had free milk. And that was all over the country, not just in Kampala.
She has a very beautiful story that she's going to be sharing with us here today.
So the first time we went was, we went to the bathroom and we just stood there. And the S2s came in and took the buckets, filled the water, and they started undressing. And we just looked at each other like,
how is this how we are going to bathe?
So they showered and looked at us, and then they told us, what are you waiting for? It will be time for supper before you're ready. What are you waiting for? So we slowly started undressing, being shy, can't keep a ring. And they said, just drop everything and shower. So of course, eventually then we learned to do that.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Welcome to the Rotary Club of Kasangati. That is 23 years today. It installs its 23rd president, and that's President Momo. We call her lovely Momo. She is a sweetheart. Now, the Rotary Club of Kasangati started 23 years ago, and this was a club that started out of a group that used to meet Abawamu. And this history on these walls will give you a lot of information on how they started. They were gentlemen that were together. I know the late Njuba is very responsible for the formation of this club. And the reason he decided to approach Kampala East, which is their mother club, they approached them and told them, why do you sit together? You relate with the norms of Rotary. And because you can become Rotarians because of the way you behave, Kampala East decided to charter the Rotary Club of Kasangati. 2022, this club was chartered and it became a fully fledged Rotary Club. This club has been responsible for so many clubs. There's Chitezi, there's Sasa, there's so many clubs that it has started. But one of the most beautiful things I'll tell you about this club is that this year it has had Paul Nampala as one of our membership directors, and boy oh boy has he brought in a lot of Rotary clubs. Welcome to the Rotary Moment Show. I will tell you shortly what I love more about this club because we've covered them a lot of times. My name is Carol Chazeka Koza here at the Rotary Moment Show.
Join me to welcome the son of Chisowera, who is here, the boy child himself, the eagle, accompanied by our regional coordinator, Past Governor Kenneth Wycliffe Mugisha, the international DG. DJ, join me to welcome our 23rd magical president with the tear gas angels in the floor. DJ, tear gas angels.
Everything could seem to be new, dance kuma pesa and Swans Avenue. Everything could seem to be new, you're winning Waji in a Swans Avenue.
Whatever was not here, welcome the queen from Bunyoro, led by the tear gas angels. President, magical president Maureen Bilungi. All those are winning. Those of you who have not been presidents, you are in problems because I don't know which music you will play by then.
There's something secret hidden deep inside of you.
We are thankful for the gift of life, service, and fellowship. Give us open minds, a clear understanding, and a steady purpose to make the most of our talents and show us how best we can serve. God of the universe, we are grateful for the privilege of Rotary service. Almighty God of the universe, give us the discernment to love our friends and family, to treat our employees and fellow workers fairly, to seek justice, to help those in need, to be the best we can be, and to live by the four-way test. Of all the things we think and say and do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Amen. Thank you.
As you remain standing, please join me to welcome Rotarian Reverend Father Richard Segawa to lead us